to teach thy base thoughts manners. Thou'rt one of those that thinks each woman thy fond, flexible whore, if she but cast a liberal eye upon thee. Then she is quite gone. How many of our sex by such as thou have had their good thoughts paid with a blasted name, never deserved loosely, or did trip in path of whoredom beyond cup and lip? But for the stain of conscience and of soul, better had woman fall into the hands of an act silent than a bragging nothing. There is no mercy in it. What durst move you, sir, to think me whorish, a name which I tear from the high German's throat if it lay leisure there to dispatch privy slanders against me? In thee I defy all men, their worst hates and their best flatteries, all their golden witchcrafts, with which they entangle the poor spirits of fools, fish that must needs bite, or themselves be bitten. Such hungry things as these may soon be took, with a worm fastened on a golden hook. Those are the lecher's food, his prey. He watches for quarreling wedlocks and poor shifting sisters. 'Tis the best fish he takes. But why, good fisherman, am I thought meat for you, that never yet had angling rod cast towards me? 'Cause you'll say I'm given to sport. I'm often merry jest. Had mirth no kindred in the world but lust? Oh, take her friends then. But how art thou in baser world censure my life, to where base to yield where I have conquered?
Well, obviously, I can't take this. I mean, I didn't do it for the money anyway. I did it because it seemed like you needed a hand and I needed a break from my high pressure job. And even though I'm guessing you're pretty pissed right now, in the end, I think you'll see this was the most helpful thing I could do. Because moving on is so hard sometimes. I mean, I get it. I've been there. It's such a, you know? And in those moments when you're in the middle of doing something really crazy and humiliating, what you need more than anything else is a reality check. Someone who can reflect you back to yourself. So you can be like, hey, is this really what I want to be doing right now? Is this really the guy I want to be? So that's what I decided to do for you in the end. I don't think this is the guy you want to be.
That's not. That was crazy. I shouldn't have been. No, I shouldn't have been on that pile. That was crazy. Opening cards, flowers, champagne, well, even cold duck. Well, a very elegant man handed me an envelope. I said, "Bless you, darling." He said, "You've been served." The rest is a blur. Ben's divorcing me. Little car. That's what this envelope means. I tell you, it's never just one thing. It's the whole wolf that brings down the fawn. It's not just the mall killing the town, it's the incompetence. It's white people afraid of brown people. It's times are changing. It's cars instead of trolleys. It's it's not just the theater. It's not just the money killing the theater. It's the creative weighing in. It's culture in real estate. It's not just the affair that kills the marriage. It's the years of neglect, having nothing to say to one another in the morning. It's sorry, Car. I tell you, it's never just one thing.
Sit down, sit down. Your honorable load. If honor may be shouted in hearse, witless, I a while obscene whistling limit. The ultimately fall of a virtuous Lancaster, poor he cold figure of a holy king. Pale ashes of the house of Lancaster, thou bloodless remnant of that royal blood, be it lawful that I invocate thy ghost to hear the lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, to thy slaughtered son, stabbed by the self-same hand that made these wounds.
World peace. World peace. Everyone wants world peace, or everyone pretends to want world peace. But they don't really want world peace because there's a simple way to get it. Everybody knows it. No one wants to say it. Fire the boys. Fire the boys. There, I said it. The boys have been mostly in charge of the world for a long time now, and look at it. The world is a mess. A mess created by boys. And why are we surprised by this? Go into any single boy's home or apartment or dorm. Is it tidy? Are the pants crisply folded? The shirts carefully hung? The socks darned? Some, sure. Some are. But the majority? The majority are in a forgotten wasteland of dirty laundry, empty beer cans, and old pizza boxes. So what idiot saw the average boy's room and decided this looks good? We should put this guy in charge of the entire world. I think he'll get the place in charge. I can tell you this, it wasn't a girl. A girl did not make this decision. And I know, boys, what you're thinking. What makes you think you do better? And my answer is wild baboons. Wild baboons have proved that we can do better than that.
I ate them. That's right. I ate the divorce papers, Charles. I ate them with ketchup and they were good. Good. You probably want me to get more serious about our divorce. The thing is, you always called our marriage a joke. So let's use logic here. If A, we never had a serious marriage, then B, we can't have a serious divorce. No, we can't. The whole thing is a farce, Charles. A farce that tastes good with ketchup. I mean, wasn't it just last week your dad asked you the reason you walked down that aisle with me and you said, for the exercise? That's funny. You're a real funny guy, Charles. I'm laughing, not crying. I'm laughing because you're about to lose out on a woman that is infinitely lovable. For instance, Paul. He's loved me since the 8th grade. Sure, he's a little creepy, but he really loves me. He's made 127 passes at me, proposed 47 times, and sent me over 200 original love sonnets. He sees something in me, Charles, and writes it down in mettered verse. I would never ask him to sign his name to a piece of paper promising to just turn off his feelings for me forever. But that's what you're asking me to do, for you. To sign away my right to that sweet voice, Charles. Those baby brown eyes, the way your hands feel through my hair before. Those aren't things I want to lose. In fact, I won't lose them. I won't lose you.
A C. A C? I got a C in coat hanger sculpture? How does anyone get a C in coat hanger sculpture. May I ask a question? Was I judged on the sculpture itself? If not, is it not true that time alone can judge a work of art? Or was I judged on my talent? If so, this is also unfair. Was I judged on my effort? Because I tried as hard as I could. Or was I judged on your ability to transmit your knowledge to me? If so, are you not, my teacher, also willing to share my C? Or was I judged on the quality of coat hanger out of which my creation was made? If so, is that not the dry cleaning establishment's responsibility? Is it not their quality of their coat hangers that they use to return our garments? Is that not my parents' responsibility? Should they not share my C? Thank you, Miss Othmar. The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Now she pays it. The misery of us that are born great. We are forced to woo, 'cause none dare woo us. And as a tyrant doubles with his words and fearfully equivocates, so we are forced to express our violent passions in dreams and in riddles, and to leave the path of simple virtue which was never made to seem the thing it is not. Go, go brag, you have left me heartless. I hope 'twill multiply love there, mine is in your bosom. You do tremble. Make not your heart so dead, a piece of flesh to fear more than to love me. Sir, be confident. What distracts you? This is flesh and blood, sir. 'Tis not the figure cut at alabaster kneels at my husband's tomb. Awake, awake, man. I do here put off all vain ceremony, and only do appear to you, O young widow that claims you for her husband, and like a widow, I use but half a blush in it.
Is that a dagger which I see before me? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou fatal vision sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat-obsessed brain? I see thee yet in form as palpable as this in which I now draw. Thou marshallest me towards the way in which I am going, and such an instrument in which I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, and with all the rest, I see thee still. And on my blade, I see dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before, as there is no such thing. Alas, 'tis the bloody business that which informs. Yes. And mine eyes upon firm set earth hear not my steps, for which they walk. Hear not my fear under the stones in which prate for my whereabout, and forget the current horror which suits upon thy time. For it is the bell which reckons me. It beckons me. I go, and it shall be done. Hear it not, Duncan, For it is a knell that shall decide whether you are turned to heaven or to hell.
Remember us in high school? The quarterback and the cheer captain? We were insatiable. When you shipped out, I thought I'd wait for you. Then I met Stanley. At first, he was so cool. He bought us booze and cigarettes. He had a car and his own apartment. We were kind of going together for about 5 months when I'm at the lake with some of my friends. I'm flirting with some guy, a little buzzed, when Stanley's car comes racing onto the beach. And he just beats the crap out of this poor boy. Then he tells me to get in. After that, I didn't go to any more parties. Stanley was a bad, bad man. People think he left me for some woman in Clivesdale. That's not the truth. Last year, when your wife passed, I was thinking about going to the funeral. That's when Stanley said he'd rather see me dead than hanging around Tom Houston again. Something about that woke something up inside me. Because when we went our separate ways, it was fine, because it was us, But who is he to keep us apart? So that night, I fought back. He chased me out of the house and into the woods. He was the one who brought the knife. It's funny. Stanley's the one that made me go to nursing school. That's why I knew where his femoral artery was. Not sure if I hit it, but I left him out there. Maybe he crawled somewhere for help. Maybe he died in those woods. You say you killed your family? I hope I killed mine.
I've just been living in Berkeley, having grown somewhat weary of family life. I've been meaning to stop by and pay my respects, but I haven't been entirely certain how you felt about me, especially after that incident with your mother, which was certainly a serious mistake on my part, but not serious enough, I hope, to permanently alter your feelings about me. I love you. I love you, and I can't help myself, and I'm begging you to forgive what I did. I love you so much. I'm terrified to see you when I step outside my door. I feel helpless and hopeless and lost and miserable. Please forget what I did, Elaine. Oh God, Elaine, I love you. Please forget what I did. Please forget what I did, Elaine. I love you.
C? A C? I got a C on my coat hanger sculpture? How could anyone get a C in coat hanger sculpture? May I ask a question? Was I being judged on the piece of sculpture itself? If so, then is it not true that time alone can judge a work of art? Or was I being judged on my talent? If so, then is it fair? Is it fair that I be judged on a part of my life over which I have no control? If I was judged on my effort, then I was judged unfairly, for I tried as hard as I could. Was I judged on what I had learned about this project? If so, then were not you, my teacher, also being judged on your ability to transmit your knowledge to me? Are you willing to share my C? Perhaps I was being judged on the quality of coat hanger out of which my creation was made. Now is this not also unfair? Am I to be judged on the quality of coat hanger used by the dry cleaning establishments that return our garments? Is that not the responsibility of my parents? Should they not share my say? Thank you, Miss Othmar. The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
What have I gained by thee but infamy? Thou hast stained the spotless honour of my house, and frighted thence noble society, like those which sick of the palsy, and retain ill-scenting foxes about them, are still shunned by those of choicer nostrils. What do you call this house? Is this your palace? Did not the judge style it a house of penitent whores? Who sent me to it? Who hath the honour to advance Vittoria to this incontinent college? Is not you? Is not your high preferment? Go, go, brag how many ladies you have undone like me. Fare you well, sir. Let me hear no more of you. I had a limb corrupted to an ulcer, but I cut it off, and now I shall go weeping to heaven on crutches. For your gifts, I shall return them all, and I do wish that I could make you full executor to all my sins. Oh, that I could toss myself into a grave as quickly. For all thou art worth, I'll shed not one tear more. I'll burst first.
It was his play. He'd been writing on his own, like instead of doing homework and stuff, and for like the whole semester, it was all he worked on. But he wouldn't let me read it, or even talk about it. So we were in his room one time, and he went to take a shower, and I knew I had like 15 minutes at least, so I got on his computer, and I know I shouldn't have. It wasn't any of my business. But I emailed it to myself. So that night, I read his play. And it scared me. You know Jacob. I mean, he gets angry and moody and pissy sometimes, but this play, his play, it was different. Violent. Really violent. About school, and it all just seemed so personal. I had this feeling, you know? So I told my advisor. I gave her the play. I didn't know they were going to kick him out. I swear. I wanted to help him. Why didn't they help him?